Hey, what's up guys? Hope you're all having a good day. Now today's video I'm going to be ranking Ed Sheeran's entire discography. So how we're going to do it is we're going to go through in chronological order and reveal the rankings as we go. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. First up, we have Ed Sheeran's debut album, Plus, which came out in 2011, which features tracks such as The A-Team, Lego House, and You Need Me, I Don't Need You. It has a hidden track on the album, which completely kind of threw me off guard, because even though I've listened to the album like once or twice before all the way through, I didn't clock it, and this time I did. Yeah, which very much like caught me off guard. Yeah, so that's just an interesting little note there. As for the album itself, it's very much more of an acoustic album, and so as a result of that, it very much comes across as being a very much an easy listening record, and also because of that acoustic style that it has, Ed's vocal performance is quite soft, which I did really like. Ed Sheeran's Plus ranked though in third place for me. Moving on, we have his sophomore effort in Multiply, which was released in 2014. Multiply features songs such as Sing, Don't, Thinking Out Loud, Bloodstream, and Photograph. My favorite track from the record is actually I See Fire, and I See Fire is also probably my favorite Ed Sheeran song all up, which is funny because it wasn't for a long time until I a couple of years ago saw him live, and from that live performance, that's what got me into that song, and then that very quickly became my favorite. But Multiply as an album is very much more of a pop heavy record, especially compared to Plus. Personally, I'm a lot of the time more likely to go for more of an acoustic album. I do think with Multiply, it has the advantage of the fact that you get more bang for your buck in that it's very much hit heavy. As a result of that, I actually think it's his best album. So I ranked it in the #1 spot. Next up, we have his third album, Divide, released in 2017. Divide features tracks such as Castle on the Hill, Shape of You, Galway Girl, Perfect, and Happier. My favorite track on the album has always been Galway Girl, which, funnily enough, was my old favorite Ed Sheeran song. I just love Galway Girl because of the fact that it has sort of those Irish like influences you can see sort of through it. Yeah, and it's just, I think as a result of that, it kind of gives it a little bit of a point of difference, which I really appreciate. So yeah, so Divide's similar to Plus in the fact that it's very much a pop heavy record, and so as a result of that, I very much like it because of the fact that it's quite heavy on the hits. However, I do feel like the second half of the album isn't as strong as the first, and so that's why I rank it just that little bit lower in second place. Next up, we have his fourth album, which is #6 Collaborations Project, which was released in 2019. It features songs such as I Don't Care, Cross Me, and Beautiful People. #6 is interesting in that it's sort of his first album as a concept album. So in the sense that the whole idea of the album is it's him working with a bunch of artists to create this album, which I really appreciate because I feel like 90 to 95% of albums are simply just a collection of songs, while a concept album, using the term very loosely, is much more rarer. I think that the strongest concept albums personally for me are the ones that do have, rather than sort of like a thing tying it together, have some sort of plot tying it together. So the best examples of that would probably be like American Idiot or Pink Floyd's The Wall. I like the two really good examples of that type of album, rather than just, you know, a collection of songs, which is sort of majority of albums. However, so I do appreciate it for trying to do that. However, I just don't think it's as strong as the rest of his discography at this point in time of his career, if that makes sense. Like, I think the other three are stronger albums, even though they're just albums, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I have it ranked in 4th position as a result. Yeah, so his 5th album is Equals, which was released in 2021. It features songs such as Bad Habits, Shivers, Overpass Graffiti, The Joker and the Queen, and Two Step. Yeah, so for me, Equals is very much that point where sort of the production almost gets to the point where it's overly produced for me. And so as a result of it, I don't really like it that much. I also don't like the fact that there's songs on it that I actively dislike, as opposed to being indifferent or liking sort of everything. And that's what makes it a lot lower for me. Yeah, the best example of that, I think, is Bad Habits. I just don't like that as a song. Sorry if you like it. It's not for me personally. Equals is very much in that 7th position. In a similar vein, we have his 6th album, which is Subtract, which was released in 2023, which is the last of his sort of mathematical albums. And so Subtract features songs such as Eyes Closed, Boat, and Life Goes On. It's an acoustic album like Plus. Subtract just feels very slow. And so I didn't like it as a result. Yeah, I feel like even though Plus is similar in its style of being that acoustic thing, I feel like Plus kind of moves along at a nice pace, while Subtract was just simply too slow for me. And as a result of that, I have it ranked in 6th position. Moving, we have his most recent record, which is Autumn Variations, which was released in 2023. Autumn's interesting in the fact that it has no singles, and it's interesting in its style as well, as it feels very varied in its, funnily enough, in its sort of style. And also notably, it's the fact that it's his first album where Sheeran himself owns the copyright, which is pretty cool, because a lot of time artists, unfortunately, in the music industry do get very much screwed over. So that's cool that he owns his own copyright of this album. I'm going to be honest, I don't really remember listening to this album. So as a result, I do have it in sort of very much in the middle of the pack there, in that 5th position. That's pretty much it. I hope you guys liked this video. Hit that thumbs up button if you did. Leave a comment down below. What are your rankings of Ed Sheeran's albums? And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I make videos whenever I can. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.